Hello students, welcome to all to my YouTube channel Thermal Engineering Manoj Shendre. In the today's video lecture, we'll be talking about the numerical on single stage impulse turbine, which is comes under the model number 3, that is steam turbines. So in the previous video lectures, we have seen some numericals on single stage impulse turbine. Let us have few more different types of numerical on the single stage impulse turbine. So let us read the problem carefully. A De-Laval turbine supplied with 1 kg per second of steam from a set of nozzle whose pressure range is from 10.5 bar to 0.28 bar. The nozzle angle is 23 degrees and blade exit angle is 30 degrees. The blade speed is 270 meter per second. If there is a 22.5% loss due to friction in nozzle, and if the steam velocity is reduced by 18% while passing over the blades, find the power developed, first bit, second bit, blade efficiency, and last bit is axial thrust. So we have to assume that the steam to be initially dry saturated. So we have to use the Mollier chart here. Okay, now in this problem, clearly it can be observed that the velocity of steam at the exit of nozzle is not given. The velocity of steam at the exit of nozzle is not given here. In fact, he has given the pressure range at the inlet and exit of the nozzle. That is, the pressure at the inlet is 10 bar, 10.5 bar, and exit of the nozzle is 0.28 bar. By using these two pressure ranges, we have to use the Mollier chart. And by using that Mollier chart, we have to extract the data, that is enthalpy or specific enthalpy from that Mollier chart. And by using those two enthalpy values, that is H1 and H2, they are inlet enthalpy and outlet enthalpy respectively. We can calculate the value of velocity of steam at the exit of nozzle. So this will be more clear if we solve this problem systematically. So let us write down the given data and proceed for the solution. Okay, so solution. So he has given the type of turbine is De-Laval turbine. Remember students, the De-Laval turbine is an example for single stage impulse turbine. The De-Laval turbine is an example for single stage impulse turbine. Okay, fine. The turbine is supplied with the 1 kg per second of steam. Mass flow rate of steam, that is m dot, is given equals to 1 kg per second. Next, whose pressure range is from 10.5 bar to 0.28 bar. So Pi, let me take Pi as inlet pressure, that is 10.5 bar, and the outlet pressure P naught is equals to 0.28 bar. Okay, next, the nozzle angle is 23 degrees. Remember students, the nozzle angle is represented by alpha 1, the angle alpha 1. So nozzle angle alpha 1 equals to 23 degrees. 23 degrees. Next, the blade exit angle. Rotating blade, the inlet angle of rotating blade is beta 1 and the exit angle of rotating blade is beta 2. So beta 1 and beta 2 represents the inlet and outlet rotating blade angles. Okay, whereas the nozzle angle is represented by alpha, whereas the moving blades angle is represented by beta 1 and beta 2 for inlet and outlet respectively. Okay, so the outlet blade angle is given, that is 30 degrees. So beta 2 equals to 30 degrees. Okay. Next, the blade speed is 270 meter per second. It is represented by U, 270 meter per second. The steam velocity at the exit of nozzle is V1, whereas the velocity of blade or the rotor velocity is represented by U, that is capital U equals to 270 meter per second. Okay. Now, if there is a loss of 22.5% loss due to the friction in nozzle, so here he has given when the steam is flowing through the nozzle, there is a loss by 22.5%. So that means if we consider the losses, then the nozzle efficiency is, the efficiency of nozzle is, so 100% minus the losses. 100% minus the losses. So 100 minus 22.5, it is 77.5%. It is 77.5% is the nozzle efficiency. Next, loss due to the friction, that is 22.5%. Now, steam velocity is reduced by 18% when it is passing over the moving blades. So, due to the friction between steam and the inner surface of the moving blades, there is a reduction in velocity by 18%. So, here we can take the coefficient of blade or the ratio of VR2 by VR1. This is important part. Okay. So whenever he gives reduction in velocity due to when the steam is flowing over the set of moving blades, then we can represent the ratio or the blade coefficient as VR2 by VR1. So VR2 by VR1 equals to that is 18%. So 100% minus 18%, that is 82%. So 82% or 0.82. 0.82. This is important step. Okay. While passing over the blades, find the power developed. What we have to calculate here to find to be calculated. The first bit is power developed. P equals to how much? The second bit is blade efficiency or diagram efficiency. You can say blade or diagram efficiency. And the third bit is the axial thrust, that is Fa equals to how much? Fa equals to how much? Okay. Now this is the given data. So kindly copy this given data systematically and let us proceed for the solution. Okay. Now here let us solve this problem systematically. Now initially we have to calculate the value of velocity at the exit of the nozzle. That is V1 we need to calculate. Okay. Now here he has given the nozzle which is being completely insulated. This is well insulated nozzle. This is the inlet section I and this is the outlet section O. The pressure in the inlet section is given Pi and the pressure in the outlet section is given, that is P naught 0.28 and here it is 10.5 bar. 10.5 bar it is. Okay. This is a 0.28 bar, 10.5 bar. Now, in your from your thermodynamics data handbook, or you can use the steam tables by R.S. Khurmi, SI units by R.S. Khurmi. At the end of the steam tables, at the last page, you can find the Mollier chart. You can find the Mollier chart. Basically, the Mollier chart is a plot between the specific enthalpy about the y-axis and specific entropy about the x-axis. So let us draw the Mollier chart here. Let us draw the Mollier chart. This is the specific entropy whose unit is kilojoules per kg kelvins, and above the y-axis we have the specific enthalpy H whose unit is kilojoules per kgs. Okay. Now this curve is nothing but the saturation curve. This curve is nothing but the saturation curve. Now the condition of steam over this saturation curve is dry saturated, where the dryness fraction X is always equals to 1. The dryness fraction X is always equals to 1. Now the condition of steam above this curve is superheated state. Okay, fine. Now the condition of steam below this curve is wet condition. It is wet condition where the value of X, that is the dryness fraction, is always less than 1 below this curve. Okay. Now clearly he has mentioned the condition of steam at the entry of nozzle is dry saturated. It is dry saturated. Okay. Now after that you can see curves, these curves which are nothing but the constant pressure lines, of course in terms of bar. Okay. Now at the inlet he has given the pressure Pi equals to 10.5 bars. So this is the inlet pressure 10.5 bar. So the condition of steam is dry saturated and the pressure is 10.5. So let us take this as 10.5 bar. It will be given in the chart. No problem. So check where the constant pressure line and the curve, dry saturated curve, intersects. So this is the inlet condition or point I. Similarly, check where the 0.28 constant pressure line exists. Let us take this as 0.28 bar line, that is P naught. Now from here, just draw a straight line, the vertical line here, till it cuts 0.28 bar line. This is the exit condition not or O. The corresponding values of enthalpy on y-axis is Hi and H0 respectively. This is H0 respectively. Okay. After getting the values of these Hi and H0, the expected value of Hi for this is Hi equals to from the Mollier chart 2780 kilojoules per kg, 2780 kilojoules per kg, and the corresponding value of is H naught is 2200 kilojoules per kg, 2200 kilojoules per kg. This is 2200. Now, after getting the values of Hi and H naught, we have to consider the steady flow energy equation. We have to apply the steady flow energy equation for the nozzle. Okay. Now, the reduced form of steady flow energy equation already we have studied in basic thermodynamics subject, how to apply the steady flow energy equation and how to reduce in the simplified form. Okay. Now, here the reduced form of steady flow energy equation is Hi plus Vi square by 2 is equals to H naught plus V naught square divided by 2. This is the steady flow energy equation, reduced form of steady flow energy equation for a nozzle. But here we know that nozzle is a device which converts the pressure energy into high velocity jet. A little consideration shows that the inlet velocity is lesser, very less than the outlet velocity, so that the inlet velocity can be ignored. It can be ignored. So let us ignore this inlet velocity to 0. Now we know that the Hi and H0 values, are in terms of kilojoules per kg. But here, if V is in meter per second, then V square by 2 is nothing but specific kinetic energy. Specific kinetic energy in terms of joules per kg. But here, H value is in kilojoules and its value is joules per kg. So I repeat, the value of H is in kilojoules per kg, and here the value of specific kinetic energy is in terms of joules per kg. We cannot add. Okay, so that's why we have to multiply this term with 10 to the power minus 3. So upon simplification, I can take it as the V naught equals to, so just do the cross multiplication and simplify 2000 into Hi minus H naught. Hi minus H naught. Okay, this is Hi minus H naught. Fine. But here, this is a straight line for the isentropic expansion. Isentropic expansion. It is the most ideal condition, but there is some losses. There is some losses in velocity, in energy, when the steam is passing through the nozzle. So that is, he has given the nozzle efficiency. So here we have to multiply. We have to multiply with the nozzle efficiency here to get the actual expansion. This is the isentropic expansion and this is the actual expansion. Fine. Okay. Now here V naught, fine. So this is a of course square. Now V naught can also be written as just root of 2000 and the root of 2000 into Hi minus H naught into we have to multiply with the nozzle efficiency. Into we have to multiply with the nozzle efficiency. Okay, so this is the actual enthalpy drop, actual enthalpy drop, and this is the ideal enthalpy drop. So here we can write H naught dash, here H naught dash. This is the actual process, and here we have to multiply with the nozzle efficiency. We will get the value of the actual expansion here. Okay, actual expansion. Hope this is clear. Now substitute all the values to get the value of V naught. Now 2000 as it is, Hi is given, H naught is known, and the nozzle efficiency nozzle efficiency is a 77.5%, 0.775. So upon solving this, upon substitution and solving this, we can get the value of V naught as, so V naught equals to 948 meter per second. 948, it is in meters per second. So this is the exit velocity of the steam from the nozzle, exit velocity of steam from the nozzle. So while drawing the velocity triangles or upon solving the numericals, we have to consider it as the absolute velocity of steam, that is V1. That is V1, absolute velocity of steam at the exit of nozzle, or the velocity of steam at which it hits the moving blades, that is the absolute velocity of steam. Okay, now hope this is clear. Now let us rub this. So the velocity of steam is 948 meter per second. That is steam velocity V1 equals to 948 meter per second. Okay. Now before proceeding to the graphical solution, let us draw the combined velocity triangle, or the combined velocity triangle for inlet and outlet conditions. Okay. Let us draw. This diagram is completely a rough sketch. It is not for this scale. We will use this rough sketch as a reference for the actual figure which we are going to draw on the graph sheet. Okay. So first we will draw the rough sketch. This is a common base U. This is the inlet velocity triangle. So the absolute velocity V1, as V1 is inclined in nature, it has the two components, namely horizontal component and second one is vertical component. Okay. So alpha 1 is the angle for V1. This component is relative velocity component VR1, and the vertical component of V1 velocity is VF1, which is known as the flow velocity component, and its horizontal component is VU1, the tangential velocity component VU1. This is the inlet velocity triangle. Okay. Now, how to draw the outlet velocity triangle? So this is the outlet velocity triangle where VR2 is the relative velocity component at the outlet, and this is V2, the velocity or the absolute velocity of steam at the outlet of the moving blades, and its vertical component is VF2, the flow velocity component VF2, and its horizontal component is VU2. So this complete vector is VU2, and here this is alpha 2. For V1 and V2, the angle is alpha 1 and alpha 2 respectively, and for VR1 and VR2, the angles are beta 1 and beta 2 respectively. Okay, so for VR1, the angle is beta 1, and for VR2, the angle is beta 2. Now the algebraic sum of V1 and VU2 is delta V. The algebraic sum of VU1 and VU2 is delta V. Okay, so this is the reference or the rough sketch for the or the combined velocity triangle. Rough sketch for combined velocity triangle. A, B, C, D, E, and F. Now here we have to select the appropriate scale. The next part of numerical is we have to sketch the same combined velocity triangle on graph paper according to the scale, according to the proper scale. Okay. Now here the velocity or the speed of blade is 270 meter per second. The 270 meter per seconds. Now if we take the scale 1 centimeter equals to scale 1 centimeter equals to 100 meter per seconds, then the value of velocity u is 2.7 centimeters. Okay, so therefore u in terms of centimeter is 2.7. It is in centimeters. 2.7 centimeters. Now in your graph paper, just draw a horizontal line. Just draw a horizontal line, that is u equals to 2.7 centimeters. This is a base. Say for example, this is your graph paper. Say for example, this is your graph paper. Keep it in a landscape mode. Okay. Now just leave 1 centimeter from the bottom, leave 1 centimeter from the bottom and start sketching. Okay, that is u equals to 2.7 centimeters. Let us take it as C and D here. Let us take it as C and D. Now from D, V1 is emerging at an angle of alpha 1. V1 is emerging at an angle of alpha 1. Okay. So the value of V1 is, the value of V1 is 948 meter per second, or in terms of centimeters, V1 equals to 9.48 centimeters. Now keep the protractor on point D and measure the angle alpha 1 in clockwise direction. Alpha 1 in clockwise direction, that is alpha 1 equals to 23 degrees. So this is the line of 23 degrees. Velocity V1 equals to 9.48 centimeters, and at an angle of alpha 1 equals to 23 degrees. 23 degrees. Okay. So this is of course the point A. Length should be 9.4, 9.48, 9.48, and the angle of alpha 1 equals to 23 degrees. Now join AC here. This is VR1. This is VR1. Now from point A, drop a vertical line up to the point B here. Just drop a vertical line, and VF1 is the flow velocity component or vertical velocity component for absolute velocity V1. Now join BC here. Join BC, and this is the angle beta 1. You will get the angle beta 1 here. Okay? Okay. Now this complete vector gives you the value of VU1, the tangential velocity component VU1. Now from graph, we can measure, from graph we can measure VR1, the length of VR1, that is the length of line AC. Okay. So length of line AC, that is VR1 in terms of centimeters. The expected value for VR1 is, the expected value for VR1 is 7.2 centimeters, 7.2 centimeters. But in terms of meter per second, just multiply with 100 because the scale ratio is 100. 1 centimeter equals to 100 meter per second. Okay. So VR1 in terms of centimeter is 7.2 centimeters. Okay. Now already we know the ratio. VR2 by VR1 equals to, VR2 by VR1 equals to 0.82. Just multiply 7.2 into 0.82, you will get the value of VR2. So this is VR2. The expected value for VR2 is, the expected value for VR2 is 5.9 centimeters. 5.9 centimeters. Okay. Now from point C, VR2 is emerging at an angle of beta 2. From point C, VR2 is emerging at an angle beta 2. So beta 2 is already known to you. Beta 2 is 30 degrees. So keep the protractor on point C and measure the angle in counterclockwise direction. Counterclockwise direction, that is, draw this line at a length which is at a length VR2 equals to 5.9 centimeters, and of course we'll get the point F here. This is point F. Now join FD. Join FD. This is V2, and from F drop a vertical line. From F drop a vertical line. This is VF2 here, and join DE. So this vector is of course VU2, and this angle is alpha 2 here. Now this is the complete sketch on graph paper. This is a complete sketch on graph paper. Now measure all the things which are required for the calculation. Now in the very first bit, we need to get the value of power P. To calculate the value of power P, we need the value of delta VU. The delta VU, the algebraic sum of VU1 and VU2. How to get the value of delta VU? Listen here carefully. The total length between VF1 and VF2. The length between the two parallel lines, the total gap between the two parallel lines, VF1 and VF2. So that is V to E here. So total length V to E, that is delta VU in terms of centimeters. In terms of centimeters, delta VU is 11.1 centimeters. 11.1 centimeters. So in terms of meter per second, just multiply with 100, you will get 1110. 1110, that is in meter per seconds. 1110 meter per seconds. Okay. Now here, how to get the value of VF1 and VF2? Just measure the heights of VF1 and VF2 as it is required to calculate the axial thrust. So VF1 equals to 3.8 centimeters, 3.8 centimeters, or in terms of meter per second, 380 meter per second. 380 meter per second. Similarly, value of VF2 is, the value of VF2 is 3 meter per second, 3 centimeters, or 300 meter per seconds, or 300 meter per seconds. So we got all the values which is required for the calculation purpose. Okay, now let us proceed for the calculating various values of unknowns like power, efficiency, axial thrust, etc. Okay, so let me run this. Now the first bit of numerical is to calculate the value of power P. The first bit is to calculate the value of power P. Now power P is given by the equation, the formula m dot by Gc into U into delta Vu. U into delta Vu. So the mass flow rate is 1 kg per second. The value of Gc is always equals to 1. It is a constant. Gc value is always equals to 1. And U value is given 270 meter per second into delta Vu is 1110 meter per second. Or you can divide it by 1000 to get the power in terms of kilowatts. So upon simplification, we can get the value of power P as equal to, the value of power P as equal to it is 300 kilowatts. It is 300 kilowatts. This is the answer for first bit. Now second bit, he asked us to calculate the value of blade efficiency. He may give it as a blade efficiency or the diagram efficiency, both are same. Okay. So the blade efficiency is given by 2U delta Vu divided by V1 square into, of course, you have to multiply with 100. So substitute all the values. 2 into 270 into 1110 divided by V1 square. The value of V1 is 948 square. And of course, we can multiply with 100 to get the efficiency in terms of percentage. Upon solving this, we can get the value of efficiency as 66.7%. 66.7%. This is the value for the blade efficiency. Now the third bit is axial thrust. Axial thrust. So the formula for axial thrust is Fa equals to m dot by Gc into Vf1 minus Vf2. Vf1 minus Vf2. So remember guys, the axial thrust formula is Vf1 minus Vf2, m dot divided by Gc. Substitute all the values. 1 by 1, mass unit is 1, Gc value is 1. And while substituting the values of velocity in formulas, do substitute in terms of meter per seconds. I am repeating again and again. While substituting the values of velocity in formulas, do substitute in terms of meter per second, not in terms of centimeters. Not in terms of centimeters. So here Vf1 is 380. Vf1 is 380 minus Vf2 is 300 meter per second. 300 meter per second. So just solve, and the expected value of Fa or the axial thrust is 80 newtons. So this completes the numerical. So if you have any doubts anywhere, you can put your comments in the comment box, or you can mail me on my mail ID. My mail ID is mshendre4 @gmail.com, or else you can send your queries on WhatsApp. My WhatsApp number is 988-6539-074. You can send your queries or the questions, or if you want the PDF notes of this particular module, you can send me on the WhatsApp. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe my channel. Okay, so please share among your friends, those who are studying in the 5th semester VTU Mechanical Engineering. Okay. So thank you and have a great day.